Is the number going down?
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Tersita, Blanco, By Artsy Sister, and we're reading Saturnastra Marduke. This is chapter 8, part 2. The blow on my head striking against the floor woke me up. From the floor, I saw my brother waking up. He looked left and right like a frightened little bird. When he saw me on the floor, he gave a sigh of relief, and then he went back to bed. The next day, my mother departed with my little brother. I felt very sad seeing her go. I promised to write her often. The minute she was gone, I reclaimed my old room. I moved all of Leo's things to my new room. The next thing I did was visit my stepfather. While still wearing my armor, I sat on his chest. This made him stare angrily at me. Luckily, the poison was still effective. Giving him a few slaps on the face, I said, I told you I was going to kill you if you mess with Leo. His only response was a growl. Looking out the window, I noticed that it was time for my guard duty. I left my stepfather to consume himself in his hopeless rage. Since I had not slept last night, I fell asleep during guard duty. Rollo, who was my second lieutenant, did not mind much. He simply laid his coat over me and he allowed me to rest. While I slept, I dreamt of my forward sister Wooden. Like before, she was having tea with two demons. When she saw me arriving, she said, "A pity about your stepfather." The red demon added, "You do not know the half of it." The blue demon feigned sadness said, Poor little Leo, so young, so frightened." "I pity your stepfather was not able to whip that scary cat out of him," commented Wooden, pouring me tea. "A pity indeed," responded someone behind me. Turning around, I saw the embodiment of my rage. That strange burning fire sat beside me. In a hoarse voice, it said, "Forever chained to my own design, my hands to be stained with blood and sin, just to make him win." Gazing at him, I said, "I can't show my true form yet. I still haven't found Libra." "You should still do something about your stepfather," interrupted the demons. "You could do something about it," I said to my sister. The trio smiling said, "Really?" "Really," I responded. This made the flames of my soul relax. Smiling, my sister took out from beneath the table a bottle of champagne. She cocked the top and the foam spilled on the table. Her demons got out from beneath the table 4 glasses of champagne. She poured drinks for us. Raising her glass, she said, "To honor." The red demon rose his glass and he said, "To victory." The blue demon said, "To health." I rose my glass and then said, "To death." After my toast, we clicked our glasses and drank the champagne. I felt terrible. I felt a terrible sensation in my mouth. Putting down the glass, I said, "I just remembered that I hate champagne." I woke up afterwards. From my high tower, I saw a storm coming down from the mountain. In no time, it would surround Berthame's star palace. By night, it was raining all over the city. I saw below me that a messenger was coming up my guard tower. In the darkness, he yelled, "Marduke, an urgent message for you." Knowing full well the nature of his message, I yelled to him, "Forward it to my secretary." "What, sir? It's your stepfather. He's dead." Hearing the messenger say such words brought joy to my heart. However, I kept this joy to myself. I looked seriously at Bruno, who was dozing off, and said to him, "My old man has kicked the bucket." "Johnny," he responded, "so what if he kicked the bucket? People kick buckets here all the time. Now let me sleep." "I mean, he's dead," I said, forcing him to rise. This piece of news sobered him up. "Go to him. I will take over since while you're gone," he answered. With his consent, I ran with the messenger toward Berthame's palace. When I entered my mom's bedchamber, I was shocked by the brutality of my stepfather's death course. Mother's looking glass was broken. There was a trail of blood that went from the mirror to my stepfather's bed. When I got closer, I saw that his ribcage had been burst open. Many of his insides had been devoured. The gruesome sight of his carcass made me vomit on the floor. Inside the bedroom, Berthame and the 21 elders were assembled. They were all around my stepfather's bed. Berthame gave a sigh of relief when he saw my reaction. He said to me, "Marduke, go to your room. We will clean up while you're awake." Before leaving, I said to Berthame, "Don't tell Mother. she would shout and it would break her heart to hear the news. I went to my room, and when I got inside, I saw that the window was flapping open. The time?
9 minutes.
I went to close it to keep the rain from coming inside. Before closing the final panel, Cannon flew inside, shivering, he said. Turn on the heater, I'm freezing. Smiling, I closed the window and lit the fire. Cannon had picked up that anachronistic phrase while living in the underground base. When the fire was done, he separated into his tree form. His puma form got so close to the fire that he burned his whisker. As for his bat form, it flew into a dark corner of the room. As for his human form, he said a magic word and a black mage rose clothed him. After this brief interval, he sat next to his puma form, and while he stared into the fire, I removed my armor and put on a white nightgown. Sitting beside him, I asked, "What do you want?" Without looking at me, Cannon responded, "Kill a friend, visit another friend." That's funny, coming from a guy who tried to kill me, who tried to eat me a few months ago, I responded with a smirk. This response made his puma form growl at me. He rose and put his head on my lap. As for his human form, Cannon seemed a bit pained. He hugged his knees with his hand. He looked utterly depressed. Patting his puma head, I said, "Fine, I'll forgive you." Cannon lifted his human face and went back to staring at the fire. A single red tear flowed down his cheek. In a harsh voice, he said, "I am getting tired of this, of everything." "You should just leave Persamon. It's a pretty big world," I suggested. "If only it were that easy," squeaked his bat form. "Why won't you leave him?" I demanded. "He gives me something that no one else does," answered the puma. "Ah," I responded. Nothing like that, Marduke," answered Cannon angrily. "Persamon gives my life a purpose." "Purpose is overrated. Look at me. I have no earthly business being here." "The same way we make our own destiny, we can create our own purpose." I said this to him energetically. His spirit seemed to lift a little. His bat form flew closer to us. Smiling, he said, "How little you know of the world, child." "I know more than you know," I answered, petting his puma head. By now his fur had dried up. "Suppose if I left, where would I go? What would I do?" he asked. The time?
7 minutes.
"You could dedicate yourself to taking care of orphans and widows," I answered. This suggestion shocked Cannon. "That's a bit arbitrary, don't you think?" asked his bat form. Not really. Orphans and widows are the neediest. Everyone takes advantage of them," I responded. "Why is that bad? Weakness is a sin. The strong live while the weak perish. It is the laws of nature." His response made me angry. "Look, Cannon, everyone is born weak. Even you were weak once." This outburst of mine seemed to have shaken Cannon a bit. He gave me a pained look and he said, "I was never weak." "I see, so you were someone's science experiment," I mused. "An experiment, perhaps. Science, I do not know what it is. Frankly, I do not remember any war. Even among the Sphinx kind, my immortality is unnatural. They shunned me and called me human. I was never able to live among them." At the very moment, a flash of lightning lighted my room. It went well with the mood of our conversation. "If you are a human, then maybe you should start acting like one," I snapped back. "You know, it's funny. When we first met, I tried to get you to live for your own good, and now you're returning the favor." Said his human form, putting his head on my shoulder. "What comes around goes around," I responded. We said nothing for a while. Cannon broke the silence by saying, "Before I go, tell me the second reason you want me to leave." Smiling, I said, "It's Persamon. For him, we are nothing more than stones for him to hammer and shape. Whenever we break, he simply discards it and starts a new project. You departing will make a nick in his masterpiece. He's helping you kids survive. Without him, you will be prey, and the rest of the world hates your kind," said Cannon angrily. I saw his puma form revealing his claw. Annoyed, and I got up and said, "Why are you defending your tormentor? It is his way of thinking that has twisted this world, and frankly the world would be better off without him." Once again another lightning fell. The tension of the room was so thick that it could be sliced with a knife. Cannon's eyes narrowed and he said, You have a personal vendetta against Bersamin. You are not the first fool whose life he has ruined. Which country did he raid? Riviete, Palas, Dorlavin, Navan, Asturias, Qualimir. I have time?
4 minutes.
I interrupted Colin by saying, nothing could be further from the truth. I simply got to know the guy and decided that I wanted him dead. I'm not the type of man who is driven by petty revenge. That's funny coming from a patricide, from somebody who just committed patricide, said Canon, relaxing again. Relax. I couldn't bring myself to kill him. Oh, I thought so. As if I could not imagine you devouring your stepfather. That is too melodramatic, even for you, my Duke. Commenting Canon lying down on the floor. His back was against the fur of his puma form. I sat down again before the fire. I stared at the fire licking the wood, and I imagined my true self burning within it. By now, I started dozing off, and Canon's back for two noticed and said, if you're sleepy, you should go to bed. I will in a minute, I said, Johnny. I will leave tomorrow to go far away from Bersamin. Maybe I will visit an elven kingdom. I hear that the widows and orphans are very needy. He yawned again. His other forms too started to yawn. Good, I said, going to bed. Canon rose and sat by my bedside. While I was dozing off, he whispered in my ear, since it is my last night, may I sleep with you? Seeing me glare at him, he added, like a brother, not a lover. I lifted my bedsheets and I said, get in, and don't try anything funny, you old lecture.
What?
Just two people lying in the same bed together.
Okay.
A brother, not lovers.
Okay.
Whatever. That was normal back then.
Okay.
Whatever.
Keep going, it's fine.
Without a second delay, Caron got inside. He laid his head on my shoulder. His puma form got into the bed and he coiled near my leg. As for his back foot, he nestled on top of my hair, signing his back foot stand. Why did you cut your pretty long hair? Half asleep, I responded, because it made me look like a girl. Like a pretty girl, added Canon.
What?
I probably made this stomach when he said this. Canon's form simply laughed. I'm gonna miss you. You won't. Even when we're apart, I will still find my way into your dreams, I responded. She sleepily, he added, it won't be the same. I fell asleep after he said this. In my dream, I visited my sister Wooden. As usual, she was having tea in the middle of the forest with her demons. When she saw me coming closer, she greeted me with a curtsy. This time by the table, there were two empty seats. I sat down on my usual chair, and Wooden asked, are we having a visitor today? I could ask you the very same question. She answered, pointing behind me. I turned around and saw Canon in his puma bad armor form. We made signs to him and he came to sit with us. Baffled, he said, so this is what you meant when you said, I will find my way into your dreams. At first, I thought you were being romantic. I never imagined that you literally meant what you said. Smiling, Wooden added, it's a gift. We learned it from Marduke's real father. So what happens now? Asked Canon. Well, Wooden poured him some wine that was inside a teapot. Well, I usually drink tea, the wine, or whatever, my sister. I say that I don't like what she poured for me, and then I wake up, I said, taking my teacup. I drank its content and said to Water, I really don't like this wine. I woke up afterwards. I felt that Canon was still sleeping on my shoulder. The sun was barely starting to rise. In his sleep, he mumbled, you don't dream like a normal person. Still sleepy, I closed my eyes again. The second time I awoke, Canon was gone. Many years would pass before I would see him again. On the next, the time?
Hey, less than a minute.
Alright, we'll continue later. Bye-bye.